inside stuff. I remember I might have talked about canvassing before. I love to just count the spaces between the stitches to see if they're straight and wonder who did it and wonder if they got away with it. But anyway, never to criticise anyone else's work, because this is probably better than I could do myself. So anyway, this is an old Huntsman coat, very much Peaky Blinders style, double-breasted, sometimes called Chesterfield. It's got a velvet collar, not an inset velvet collar, but nice velvet collar. It's a really, really beautiful coat, and sadly it's not my size, because I'd love that. It's really nice. It's a bit heavy, but they're not heavy when you get them on, a bit like the German leather coats. If you ask somebody to hold them, they say, oh wow, they're really heavy. When you put it on, it just feels normal. Anyway, someone or something has happened to this, and the lining, it came to me like this. The lining's gone. It's 1950s, I think, Huntsman. I'm going to put a lining back in it, and it's not difficult to do. I did a similar thing with I do like a bit of old Harris tweed, and this was a fabulous old, I think it's made by Horns or someone, forget who, no, Hope Brothers, right, really nice old English brand, and the old 1940s Harris tweed level. Now this was half lined, so a lot of stuff that gets made for the American market is sort of lighter weight, they like the Harris tweed, but it's a little bit hot for them, so they don't line it fully. So I put this Tattersall lining in here and finished it sort of quite nicely, so it looks sort of quite original really. It's now a warm coat, and this is my my winter coat. And this raglan sleeve style of this coat, they are so nice. It's just like getting in a blanket or something. They're really comfortable. They're stylish. You can wear them a little bit oversized and they'll just look great. Unbelievably comfortable. This one has got the nice moleskin pockets, which a lot of old overcoats have velvet in the pockets, and it costs nothing extra to do it. I don't know why they don't now. Put your hands in and you think, oh wow, yeah, I want to keep my hands in these pockets. Yeah. But yeah, so this, I added the lining to make this a little bit warmer, and I'm going to do a similar thing with the Huntsman. Now, it's not a difficult job to reline an overcoat, especially if you got lucky like me. About 20 years ago, I bought a lot of these. They are, I think it might have been from some theatre company. These are suit bags and garment bags, but they've been made out of lining material and made a long time ago. So this is genuine 1950s lining material, 100% cotton. So it's perfect if you're going to reline a vintage piece like this. What I'll do with the Huntsman one is I line it to about here, which you need it to be a bit sort of slippy to slide on. You can't line the top and the sleeves with wool, it would be uncomfortable. And I'm going to line the lower bit with this. This is an old kilt. I might change my mind on the tartan. I've got quite a lot of these. You get yards and yards and yards of tartan with a kilt. And this is a large size man's kilt, 100% wool. It's got a few bits of sort of moth damage here and there, so I'm going to unpick it and get myself a very long length of this tartan. And so the bottom of this coat might be a different tartan to this, because this is maybe a little bit bright, makes a bit too much of a statement. So the top will be in this nice black sort of satin cotton, the shiny side of course. Yeah. So the top will be like that, and the bottom will be this lovely tartan. Now, it's not difficult to reline. You don't really have to have a lot of great skills to reline a jacket. You just take your cloth, and all you need to do, see, this already has one seam up that side, and could even reuse that seam. So you just make a start by pinning it into position and going along till it feels like going to stop, and you can very easily work out the pattern for a lining. This is going to be really great. I think by February I might have it finished. Sadly it's not my size, it's about a size 42, but lovely bit of Huntsman kit. You'll never ever see this kind of cloth being made again. these buttons don't exist now, these lovely Savile buttons. Silk velvet on the collar. Really beautiful thing, cut by one of their legendary cutters at Huntsman. Absolutely super garment. So I'll be spending probably about a day on this to finish it. So I'll let you have a look later. I may have mentioned this before. It's a fabulous find. This is a Huntsman overcoat, which for some inexplicable reason somebody's taken the lining out of it and as a project, but they didn't get to finish it. I get to finish it sometime now. I was incredibly lucky. From a theatrical company that I used to supply, they had a lot of surplus suit covers. This is one of them. Just ordinary suit covers, which are like big pillowcases. So they just put over jackets and suits. But they've been made out of lining material. And they've been made a long time ago. So what we have here, I've got about 50 of these. I've got a fantastic source of vintage lining material, absolutely appropriate to lining the top of this overcoat. In fact, checking with a little bit of the original lining left here, you can see it's almost exactly the same thing. The important thing is it's 100% cotton, because I have a rule with linings about not using synthetics. Now, you don't have to be an expert tailor to reline something. There's a bit of give and take in lining. Now, it's quite simple to start. I'm going to do the top. Now, the top bit has to be sort of slippy and slidey so you can get it on comfortably. But the bottom, if you want to be a little bit warmer, you might use a Melton, and I'm going to use, for a bit of fun, some of this. I think this is King's Own House or Gordon, I'm not sure. It's one of the Highland Regiment things, and I've got lots and lots of surplus. I used to make tartan trews out of this stuff, and now the Highland Regiments have been disbanded into just one Highland Regiment. There's a lot of this stuff floating around, and it's pretty cheap. Now, it's really quite simple. The lining's in 3 or 4 different parts, and you simply start. I'm going to start down in this corner here. First of all, you'll put a hem like that to start off with. So you're going to start like this, and you'll have a little half-inch hem on the other side. So you're going to press that so that it looks like that. Now, you could pin it into place. I always like to just tack it into place with some white cotton. So I'll do this really quickly here. I'm not going to cut this cloth until I've got this tacked up to the waist where it wants to be. Do this really quickly. Great big stridey, because when we stitch it on, it'll be in a black cotton, and this is just to hold it in place. And before you actually put any fine stitching in it, you just press it and sort of shrink it and make sure. So, see, now that's basically, oh, oops, missed. This is quite tough old fabric. It's probably made by Crombie. So that's got to hold that in place. We'll press it before we actually stitch the thing in. Now, this is going up to about the waist here, and we put the bottom in first because the top bit is going to overlap when you put it on. So it's exactly the same thing with the top bit. So I will pretty much do all this side up to the shoulder and up to the sleeve, and do exactly the same thing with this. It's going to look pretty much like that. I love the fact that tartan's geometric, so you get your line straight very, very easily. So in the same way, this is just going to be tacked on like that, following the original line. So that's what it's going to look like when it's finished. It's going to be quite a nice overcoat, I think. Unfortunately, it's not my size. About size big for me. Even though there is a tradition of wearing overcoats a little bit on the big side, this is going to go to somebody else.